Hi, welcome to the third section of the course. In the previous section, we'll learn how Ember.object works. In this section, we'll be using HTML bars and handlebars, and we'll be going over how to use templates in our applications. We'll learn how to define an application template and how to work with conditionals. We'll also learn how to display list of items and the process of binding with element attributes and classes. Further, we'll see how to work with HTML links and how to handle HTML actions. Finally, the video will cover the use of input helpers and development helpers. In this video, we will learn how to work with templates. We will learn how to create a new application using Ember CLI. We later move on to create a new route to add a new template and finally generate a controller. To work with templates, we need to understand the basics on how properties bind with controllers and components. This video will go over how to accomplish this. Cool, let's get started then. To work with templates, we need to understand the basics on how properties bind with controllers and components. In order to do so, we will first create a new application using Ember CLI. You can go to Terminal and give the path of the folder where you wish to place the application. The command will be. We then run this application to generate a new application in the Documents folder that we can use for further videos. We will enter the path to the Hello World app. Next, we'll create a new route that will add a new template. This is the code for it. This command will generate the template and routes files as well as unit tests. The template file is called helloworld.hbs and will be generated in the app/templates folder. The route file is called helloworld.js and is located in the app/routes folder. The route.js file will also get modified with the new Hello World route as shown here. We'll discuss more about routes in later videos. After this, we'll need to generate a controller. So let's run the command. This will generate a new file called helloworld.js in the app/controller folder, as you can see here. You can also find a helloworld-test.js in test/units/controllers folder. With all the files created, we're now ready to continue. Now let's take a look at adding properties to our new template file. We will begin by editing the helloworld.hbs file, which is located here. Let's open the helloworld.hbs file. You can see the code here. For this simple code, we'll create a string with the first and last name properties as shown here. Handlebar expressions are surrounded by double curly braces and backed by a context. A context is an object from which handlebar expressions read their properties. In this code, the context is the controller. The outlet will render the template of any nested videos, which will be discussed in our later videos. Now let's move to /app/controllers/helloworld.js. The controller will need to have the first name and last name properties so that it can be displayed in the template. Here, the controller has the same name as the template. The template, by convention, will retrieve the properties from the controller of the same name. Each of them is bound to each other. If any changes occur to the data, the other values will change. Now let's see how to use templates with components. Similar to controllers, we can create a component that acts as a context for the template. In the component, we can set up properties that can be accessed by the templates later. We will start by creating a new component for which you can use the generate component command as shown. All components must have a dash in their names. This command will create the hello-world.js file in app/components/hello-world.js folder. A template file in the app/components/hello-world.hbs file, and an integration test file at tests/integration/components/hello-world-test.js. Next, we will edit the hello-world.hbs file and add the hello world string as shown here. Here, the first name and last name parameters are retrieved from the component. The yield expression is used when the component is in the block form. We'll talk more about this in later videos. We will now go to the hello-world.js file in the components folder. We'll add two properties to the component file, hello-world.js, the first one being first name and the last one being last name. For the last part, all we need to do is add the component that we just created to one of our application.hbs files, as you can see here. The hello-world handlebar expression adds the component to the new application.hbs file. The hello-world template will then be rendered here. The outlet template will render the nested routes under the application route. Now let's start the Ember server. For that, we will first provide the path for application project, which is, and then start the server by adding the command and run it. We can then navigate to the link. After the Ember server is started, open a web browser at localhost 4200. The message on screen will show, "Hello world, my name is John Smith." Next, we'll open a new tab and navigate to the link. We'll be greeted with two messages. The message on screen will show, "Hello world, my name is John Smith." "Hello world, my name is Eric Hanchett." When the Hello World route is loaded, the application template is displayed. The outlet template then gets rendered with the contents of the Hello World template file. This is why both messages are displayed. Remember that all routes are nested under the application route. Ember.js uses the handlebars templating library. This library provides you with a way to do data binding between the component or controller, also known as a context, and the template. This data binding occurs in both directions. In other words, changes to the data in the component or controller will be reflected in the template. Changes in the template to the data will be reflected in the controller or component. In the previous simple example, the first name and last name properties in the component were accessed in the template with double curly braces, like you can see here. This is known as a handlebars expression. The template is just regular HTML with embedded handlebar expressions. Ember compiles these templates later on during the build process.